be okay. Of course, we are a little bit scared about our
of course
enemy, because you understand Independence Day. You don't know what to wait for.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Better be prepared for anything.
To anything, yes.
Yeah, exactly. Have you stayed in Kyiv for the whole time?
No, I moved in the west of Ukraine for 3 months from the beginning of the war, and then dear friends, we are on air. We broadcasting live. European Association of Software Engineering, welcome you all, dear speakers, dear guests, dear viewers. Please share the link with your business partners, with your friends. You still have the opportunity to join to our conversation today and to make your own personal questions about the Iceland, about the business IT market of Iceland to our guests. You can just write your questions in the chat. We will try to answer all your questions. And of course, I have my own agenda here today. And first of all, let me introduce my honorable speakers of this teleconference. It's Svavar Viðarsson, CEO at IT company Imperio. Hi.
Hello.
And it's Vala Halldorsdottir, founder and CEO of IT company Rocky Road.
Hi.
It's Bala Kamallakharan, founder of Startup Iceland and co-founder of Dattaca Labs and Iceland Venture Studio. Hi.
Hi.
Dear friends, sorry if there was some mispronunciation from my
side. No worries. These are difficult names.
Nice to meet you all. Thank you that you found time to join us, and thank you for your experience that you will share today with our guests. Speaking about Iceland, I think that Ukrainian businessmen and Ukrainian population in general don't know a lot about this country. Yes, for us it's like a far ice country of fjords and volcanoes. We know that you have a population of about 300,000 people, something more, yes. And you have the Scandinavian business model, as far as I know. So we will be specific and talk about all this today. First of all, let us speak about the Scandinavian business model. What is it about? Please, who can explain to us?
As I said, I think Vala and Svavar should take it because I'm a quintessential insider-outsider. So I see it with different eyes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Svavar, please take it away. The Scandinavian
business model. Okay. Scandinavian business model. It's based on, you can describe it as a non-hierarchy business model. It's more informal than maybe in other countries. Like if you it's based on, maybe you can say that you have this mutual respect, you can say. You have the management roles and employees are kind of on the same level, and also to adding to that, maybe it's distinctly from other business models, or is that we have this this culture of what's called the gender gap is maybe smaller than in other countries as well. So you can say that also we have the business model in Iceland is a smaller version of the Scandinavian one. It's very similar, just on a smaller scale. As Icelandic market, you can describe it as a micro market. Do you agree?
Dear colleagues, you agree, yes? And I would like to mention something before we went broadcasting live. You said that today you have a good weather and everybody closed their businesses and went away to walk outside. So as far as I understand, you have some freedom here, yes? So you can choose to work today or not to work, or everybody can, I mean in private businesses, yes, you can choose and you have such freedom, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, the work culture is a lot more relaxed, I would say. I've worked in multiple countries and continents, to say the least. And I think Iceland work culture was probably the most effective that I have seen. Primarily because it's a small place, and everybody understands that you have a family and you have a life. Work is not paramount. Obviously everybody does their best. That's not ever challenged. But 4 o'clock, you need to go pick up your kid from day school, and nobody challenges that. And that's not always the case in other places, and I think that is very important to have that kind of a societal understanding, that working together to create something of value, but also understanding that work doesn't define who you are. Mm-hmm. And that is something that was very interesting for me to see. And also, because it is a small place, I also think that there's not a lot of competition. People kind of accept that some people just have relationships and they win business, and you can't possibly go and try to present a better value proposition. People usually buy based on relationships. And that's, that was also very interesting for me to note, because I used to work in the US, where you could, it doesn't matter, end of the day, economic drivers and value drivers are more important than relationships. Even though you might be a friend and you pitched, but if somebody comes and makes a better offer, the company would choose that better offer. Not so in Iceland, not in the Scandinavian world. Mm-hmm. Relationships matter more.
That's interesting question. A few days ago, I had such a post in my Facebook, and I wrote that for me, from my side of view, the really efficient and successful people, they work 24/7. But of course, such countries as Iceland and some other countries in Europe, for example, they show us more relaxed business model, and it's also efficient. It also shows us big money, big success. So it's interesting for me. Vala, what do you think? Is it important to work 24/7, or you lead the Scandinavian business model, like more relaxed and more free?
Yeah, I would say it's very family oriented. Just that, like both of them said, you can take out short work days, but then of course you work more on other days. Like I'm in the running my own business, so I kind of work 24/7, but I definitely know that I can be more flexible if I want to.
But you work 24/7 because you like it. You can like it.
Yeah, that's the benefit of working on something that you're really excited about.
Yeah. That was actually my idea also on my post on the Facebook. So I said, guys, I don't mean that you have to do it, but if you want, if that inspires you, you can do so and get some success. Okay.
And just like everywhere else, it's so changed after COVID. Like it's much more flexible. I think that's everywhere, especially in Scandinavia. You can work from anywhere. I think that's just like becoming a standard, and that's both for private businesses here in Iceland and also like a governmental foundation. So people can work from anywhere and kind of decide on their own work time.
Yeah, me, for example, as the CEO, first days when we started to work remotely, I thought that, oh my God, I will never get my team to be a professional, to be efficient. Mm-hmm. How can I do it? Like speaking on the Zoom all day long, it's impossible. But then I realized that people who can concentrate themselves, who have this motivation, they can work from everywhere. And if you work remotely, you can even concentrate more, especially if you are the leader, because we all know that if you are the leader or the CEO, top manager, you go to the office and everyone has some question to you. So everybody like clicking you all the time, and you cannot concentrate. So Here we see that remote work can be also efficient and make some success in the country.
Yeah.
Okay, let us be specific about the Iceland. Let us point some key reasons and benefits for doing business in Iceland. You already mentioned that this is the small country, and I think that most businesses and companies made there are the national companies, not from abroad businessmen or from abroad people. What can you say? How is it all based there?
I mean, I wouldn't say that there are no foreign companies here. I just think that, Iceland is a small market, but Scandinavians are not very price sensitive. That means that they're not price hunters. That means if they find something of quality and if it is of higher price, they don't mind paying that price. It's not true in other places. Most countries are very price sensitive. That kind of opens up a fantastic opportunity. For example, when Iceland got Costco for almost 1.5 weeks, I think 22% of all turnover in Iceland was running through Costco. The entire country went to Costco to shop because they were very price transparent. So people knew that they were getting cost plus 15%, which was not the case. And it also dropped the price of every other retail store in Iceland to Costco price. So there is an opportunity for external companies to come and actually bring more competition into this market and actually drive down prices because it can be done. Obviously, it's not done because it's a small place. Your uncle runs the store. You're not going to argue with him about price when he charges you something. So I really think that, although in the past, Iceland has not had any big companies coming and set up shop, I think that is changing quite rapidly. There's lots of companies from outside starting to look at Iceland as a market, primarily not to, it's not a big market, but it is big enough that you can actually build customer value, create new services, and so on and so forth. So it's a change that we have started seeing in the last, 5 to 6 years, I would say.
That's interesting. And by the way, Iceland, yes, it's not a very big market, but it can be the starting point to the whole Scandinavian market, I think. Yes.
Right.
So that's
Exactly.
Tesla sells directly here, and they sell through their Dutch arm, and they don't sell through any local distributor. They do it themselves. So and that's another example of how the market is changing.
Yeah, a lot of foreign businesses have actually talked about what a great test market Iceland is, because it's so easy to get in because it's so small, and then it's easy to get results again because it's very small. So foreign businesses have come in especially to test things out and then go into other Scandinavian countries.
Speaking specifically about the IT market, yes, you all have the relationship with this, and please, it's very interesting for me. What is the level of IT education in Iceland?
Yeah, what's the level?
I mean, it's kind of a broad topic, right? IT in what sense? I mean, if you're talking about computer literacy, Iceland is a very literate country, and everybody is computer aware. They all use computers, and probably the most connected in mobile phones. And I mean, I've traveled all over. I think Iceland has the best 4G connection anywhere in the world. You can go anywhere and you get connected. So it's a very technically savvy country. So education wise, I wouldn't say it is that important, but what is important is usage of technology. Because we are so small, we have to automate a lot of things, otherwise things don't get done. And all it takes is somebody to visit a country. It's a country of 350,000 people, but the infrastructure is probably as good as any other place in the world. Which is a testament to the fact that you need to use machines, and you need to use technology to build things. And they've done that, and I think we continue to do that. So IT is mainstream, but that doesn't mean everybody uses automation. That's another thing.
Yeah, it's another topic. Yeah. So Svavar, you have something to add here?
Yeah, for my part, my company Imperio is an IT sourcing company, meaning that there are scarce resources of IT in Iceland, as well as in the whole Nordics and Scandinavia. So in my experience, when it comes to education, there are more like that. They have so many of the same, so we need a lot of specialities as well. We have a lot of similar educated people, so we need to source expertise from other places, like Ukraine, like I do. I do partnership with Ukrainian companies for the most, and staff them in project in Iceland. So this is also has been a huge advantage and a value-added service from Imperio to the Icelandic market as well.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be specific. It's very interesting for me. Svavar, tell me, what partnership do you have? You take some part of IT teams in Ukraine to outsource for the projects, or you have some partnership in business. What kind of partnership is this?
Yeah, we call it a strategic partnership I have with my Ukrainian partners. I have selected several companies in Kiev and Lviv and other places, and my clients come to me and ask me for some special expertise, or you can say I need a front-end, back-end tester team or something like that, architect, and I will then build the team, and they will be sourced by me. I don't like the word outsourcing. I source them, and then I provide the service here in Iceland. So the Icelandic company, or my clients, they are having a business with an Icelandic company, but the expertise come from Ukraine, from the Ukrainian talent pool.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the business model.
Yeah, thank you. I know that our expertise and our IT level is very high. So I know that our programmers work with the whole world, and it's but I've never heard about the Iceland experience. So that's very interesting for me.
Okay. Yeah.
Vala, do you have here something to add? Do you have experience with IT teams, IT companies, or not yet?
In Ukraine, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. We have both in the past and right now. I've both worked with outsourcing studios in Kyiv, and then we have our own IT team in Ukraine right now, actually. So I have just a great experience with it. Just like we were talking before about the IT market in Iceland, it's good, and we have good universities and a lot of great IT people, but we can't compare it to how the broad range of experience that you have. So we have had probably one of the best IT teams or people that I have worked with are actually from the Ukraine.
Oh, nice to hear.
Agree.
I know that our programmers just know a lot of languages, and they can combine it in the very tough decisions, tough projects.
And I would also talk about the work ethic, which is just great. And we talked about the Scandinavian work ethic, or the business model here. It's actually a little bit different. The work ethic in Ukraine seems to be so strong, and people are so focused on deliver high quality stuff.
Yeah, nice to hear that, really.
I actually recruited probably the first Ukrainian designer in the year 2013, and we literally imported him when I was CEO of Green Cloud. I think he still lives in Iceland and works in some IT company. I don't know if he's still here or not. I've been a big proponent of distributed work for a long time. And Ukraine was the first country that we had a number of developers in every startup that I worked in. building. I mean, today I've invested in a number of companies and we have developers all over, but predominantly they come from Ukraine and Eastern Bloc. But we're starting to see now in Africa, there's lots of developers building up in Africa and in South America as well. So COVID has kind of moved the world more towards doing IT/distributed development and technical work, and it can be done. And I think it's just testament to getting talented people from anywhere in the world to work with you. And then the trick becomes, how do you recruit them? How do you find them? And how do you make sure that you're able to work with them? And, it's a different set of challenges, but end of the day, I think that there are talented people everywhere. So we should, be a lot more open to it. And as Svavar and Vala said, Iceland's a small place. The unemployment level in Iceland is like, I think, 1.5%. So it's very hard to really scale up technical talent because they're all busy in their own jobs. They'll have to leave that job to join you. And, it needs to be a very compelling reason why they should do that. Yeah. Whereas when we work with teams in Ukraine, we can scale up an engineering team pretty quickly. We can hire, 5, 10, 15, 20 engineers who have very good quality and experience and background to actually, from day one, they can start running. You don't have to give a lag for them to get trained and, all that. Yeah. I'm not saying that, we should not train. I mean, we should train. But if you want to do something at scale, we need to be looking at places like Ukraine and other parts of the world that have a lot more talent.
What I agree with you here, and what I liked always about the IT world, speaking in general, it's the world where you can combine multinational teams, and it is always interesting to watch how all these different nationalities with their specifics combine in one project, and they can share some tips to each other. It's for me, it's magic always. Okay, we have a second question of our agenda. Features of legal registration and tax rates. In Iceland, please be specific. Maybe there are some differences with national countries and guests who come there to build the business. And please let us be specific about the IT projects, IT businesses.
Mm-hmm. I mean, as far as I know, there is no big difference from any other country. I mean, the tax rate is 20%, the corporate tax. Setting up a company in Iceland costs about, I would say, maybe about 1,000 euros to basically set it up. And the equity requirements are about, 4,000 euros, depending on what the exchange rate is. I don't know what it is today, but that's one of the other challenges in Iceland, because Iceland has its own currency. There is a local currency exposure that you need to worry about, because you're if you're going to come and set up shop here, your cost structures and all that, currency exposure is an important thing if you're an external provider. Mm-hmm. But for locals, it doesn't matter, because you make money in Icelandic krona, you charge in Icelandic krona, yes. Everything is okay. But if you come from abroad, then the differences are there. I would say the labor arbitrage is still a very big issue. Iceland is a wealthy country. There's a lot of collective bargaining. It is an expensive place to live. So the cost of living is high. Salaries are higher. So there is a labor arbitrage when it comes to IT. So people look for quality, but I don't think that it's always a function of price. It is also a function of finding the right people for the right price. Mm-hmm. And I think, our teams that we have invested in startups, we actually pay market rates or above market rates in some of the places that we have very good talent in Africa and South America and in Ukraine as well. And, it's not the same price as we would pay if we got a senior engineer in Iceland. The first thing is we can't find them because they're all busy. But if we do find them, it is comparable. So that part, you need to think about. But starting a business and all of that is pretty straightforward. Most of it is digitized now, and you can do it online. You can start a business from anywhere in Iceland, but obviously you need to have a local address. and you need to have local registration and tax registration. I mean,
Yes.
if you do that, then you can operate here.
I see. Yeah, thank you. I would like also us to add some specific about the legal registration. Maybe Vala, you are welcome here. What time does it take to register a company? I mean, all these legal issues, yes, and with the banks, with the address, and so on.
Yeah, so just like Bala said, most of it is digitized, so it's actually pretty straightforward and easy. So I'm not sure exactly about how many days it is, but it's a matter of just like a couple of days. It's easy to set a bank account and everything, but it's of course you need to have like a local registration in the country, like a local ID, and that's probably the most difficult part of coming to Iceland.
That's great.
Yeah, but especially after the war, of course, everyone is so open for Ukrainian people to come to work in the country, and it's so easy for Icelandic companies to back up that we would need, especially like IT workers from abroad, because like again we are so small. It's easy to say like I need this person to get here. This is a pool of talent I can't get in Iceland actually. So that's actually. It's easy to get permits for almost anyone, especially in IT, to come to Iceland, but that's probably the biggest hurdle of the whole process. But setting up a business here is easy.
It's interesting for me actually, because because of war in Ukraine, a lot of founders, companies, a lot of businessmen went to different European countries and faced this very slow process of business registration, then we all understood what a quick processes we have in Ukraine. We really have this all digitalized, and you can just like in a few minutes, in a few days, open bank account, do all these business issues to open and to register legally their company. And in Europe, it's rather slowly processes. You will only you have a few weeks only to open the bank account, and a few weeks for every step. So it takes a lot of time. It takes It's good that Iceland is also a quick country in these features. Okay, and if we speak in general, you come, for example, to Iceland. You want to open the company there. Efficient process of creating the innovative company. Where to begin? Where to look for some partners, for example. Where to look for some government support or some programs or some venture studios or something. Please, we can hear say.
I think this is for Bala.
There are, obviously various different categories of companies you can talk about. For example, if you want to set up a service company, for example, let's say you want to, just have your own consulting company, then it is, as Vala said, it probably takes about a couple of days to register. Maybe getting the local ID and your VAT tax ID, that might take maybe a week to 10 days because you need that for the bank account. So typically it takes about a couple of weeks to get all the things set up. But if you're going to start a startup, I mean, there are a number of accelerators that are run in Iceland. Those are good ways to get, if you're a founder and you're starting a startup and you want to really start out of Iceland, then you can apply to some of these accelerators. We get founders reaching out to us. I mean, we have invested in teams in Israel, in India, in the US, and of course in Iceland. We don't see a lot of requests for starting a startup out of Ukraine or other places, but we're open to, we are location agnostic, so we're happy to talk to any founder anywhere in the world building things. So if you're starting up and you want to start in Iceland, I think the accelerators are a good place to start. Of course, through Startup Iceland, we've kind of built a community here of founders, Vala being one of the founder, and there's plenty of others who actually are very, very welcoming for anybody who wants to come and start. Because Iceland is so small, a lot of these things are on social media groups. You can very quickly just ping and say, hey, I'm here, I'm doing this. And then you will see the community just jumping in and saying, oh, I can help you with this, I can help you with that. And I think, that's how you start, really. And a number of the social media groups are accessible, it's open, so anybody can ask questions there. But of course, I get a lot of requests that way, and I usually channel them. I'm a lot more efficient on email than social media because I don't spend a lot of time.
Yeah, I can only imagine how many requests and questions you have there.
Very, very easy. I've got my own system to filter them. There are, through the Startup Iceland website, there are a bunch of resources and links that you can go to. For those who want to come and work in Iceland, if you're a specialist, I think the government of Iceland actually created a first website that is called work.iceland, I think. Work.iceland.is, if I'm not wrong, in Iceland or something like that. And you can do a Google search and you'll find it. And for the first time, it actually gives all the details on if you want to work in Iceland, what do you need to do? And this was in English for the first time. By the way, that's one of the things that we've been lobbying with the government to change, which is a lot of the things are in Icelandic. And, for somebody who's coming from outside,
it's rather difficult.
And Icelandic is just impossible, right? So you need to have some common language. And they took that to heart. And I think a couple of years back, they launched this website, which was all in English. So you can attract talented people who are looking to come and work here. In addition to that, there was a new law that was also passed where you can bring your work to Iceland. You can come and work in Iceland for about 6 months without any real visa or anything of that sort. If you already have a company and you can prove that you have a salary and you have work insurance or health insurance, then you can just come and work here. Which was done during the COVID period, because we had a number of my friends who wanted to come and work in Iceland from Silicon Valley, and especially from the US, it was a lot more difficult. So I actually wrote a letter for one of my friends to the ministry suggesting that we should do that, and a bunch of other people jumped in and said, maybe we should just change this law. And finally, the law got changed where you can actually come and work from here if you have a job. For example, if there is a company in Ukraine and you basically want to come and work out of Iceland, you just need to prove that you have a business in Ukraine, you have a bank account, and you have insurance, and then you can come and say, I want to work from Iceland, and you can do that.
That's interesting. Also, just come and try, yes, to understand if that's yours or not. Okay, thank you. Svavar, I'd like to ask you about the current IT infrastructure in Iceland. Let us speak about IT service companies, IT product companies. What is the percentage of each of them?
Yeah, you can describe the IT market or service in Iceland like we have these two big companies called Advania and Origo. So the biggest ones. So they serve a lot of the governmental agencies and just own kind of the majority of the market. And then we also have smaller companies. There are divided into these categories. So we have a lot of also these startup companies, like we're doing some kind of new services and apps. It's really cool. So there's a lot of growth also in that. The majority of my clients are from the government. I work mostly for like the Digital Reykjavik and the purchasing department of the government, you could call it, Ríkiskaup. For example, I work a lot in healthcare, so there are a lot of cool things going on in digital health. So really exciting things. So I have a team of developers now from working in automation and RPA, robotic process automation. I have teams working for the healthcare sector. and work for almost every regional healthcare department, what we call, in Iceland. So you can say that there's a lot of different companies working. So a lot of exciting stuff going on. You just need like 9,000 experts now that are missing to fulfill all the position, compared to, I think, 50,000 in Norway, 70,000 in Sweden, and something similar in Denmark. So just come over.
Okay. I will. Vala, what can you add? Let us speak about some. Svavar mentioned some of names, yes, but maybe you can add some famous startups or some famous IT companies coming from Iceland.
Yeah, so we're very strong in also the energy sector. There's a lot of interesting companies coming out of that because we have all this clean energy, and there's a lot of different products coming out of that. We also have like a good gaming company culture, I would say. One of the oldest and most successful company here is called CCP, which is like a gaming company that published a MMO back in, I don't know, it's been around for more than 20 years and was sold out to a South Korean company a couple of years ago. Yeah, what can I say more? Bala has the best overview. What do you say, Bala, about the interesting
here? So there are so many different categories of startups that are being built out of Iceland, and all of them are looking for technical talent. All of them are hiring all over the world. The last decade, we have seen a number of companies that have been built in the travel space, in the health space, in efficiency, supply chain. So there's a whole litany of companies now. The fastest growing is in the health sector. We have a biotech company called Alvotech that just got listed in the market. They've been hiring a lot of people from India because finding biotech talent in Iceland is just not possible. We just never had that industry. So to build that up, they've been bringing talented people from India, and they're also setting up an office in India. On the IT side, as I said, health tech is very, very hot right now, as Svavar was saying, because COVID exposed how inefficient all the health systems around the world. I'm just not talking about Iceland. I'm talking about all over the world.
Yes.
Everywhere the health systems were just not prepared to handle what happened with COVID. So, a lot of the investments are going there for automation, efficiency, and decentralization related to healthcare services. Obviously, there are a bunch of startups in that space right now. Of course, Iceland has had a tradition in the gaming. So there are a number of game companies in Iceland, and obviously all of them are building in various technologies. And traditional industries are being disrupted as well. Iceland, everybody asks me, what are the industries that we should think about of Iceland? And I say, Iceland is a country, so we need everything, right? If you think about it, whatever the country needs, we need to build. A hotel, an airline, a bus service, a travel service, everything that a country will have, we need to have. So there's no dearth of opportunity to build anything in Iceland. And Iceland has also been one of the leaders in renewable energy. So there is plenty of climate-related startups that are being built now. It's not just in Iceland, all over the world. Climate change is real. Everybody realizes that. And Iceland has a very strong role to play in that, because lots of these things can be done very quickly in Iceland. We can showcase what of these technologies works and how of them are not working. And, that's also a pretty interesting area where there's plenty of opportunity.
So if we speak about what startup topic our investors and venture studios are interested in now, it's, as I heard, it's alternative energy, health tech, and climate change topics, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but I agree, it's the whole world thing now, it's not specifically the iPhone.
There is just, so many things have happened in the last, I don't know, 3 to 5 years, which has kind of opened up the world for many, many things. For example, I think this is Kevin Kelly, the founding editor of Wired magazine. He said it maybe about 5-6 years back. He said, the next 10,000 startups, you just take whatever startup is today and you just add AI to it, right? Because it wasn't possible to do AI before that, but now anybody who has the inclination can build AI agents and sentience, and those things are really opening up a world of opportunity. And I mean, with the growth in crypto investment, I mean, I'm not just talking about Bitcoins. I'm not just talking about tokenization. I'm just talking about this whole amount of money that has gone into building the crypto infrastructure that actually will change a lot of things down the road. So there's plenty of opportunity there. I mean, I think it would be futile to kind of write it off, to say that this is all it's all a fashion, but it's not true. For those of us who are working with technology, who understand technology, we understand that cryptography has a very strong role to play in e-commerce, in financial technology, in banking, in a number of technologies that we use day to day now. So there's plenty of work to be done there. So all these are opportunities everywhere. I don't think it's just Iceland is any different in that. So anybody who has talent, inclination, willingness to build in any of these sectors, this would be the time to do it, because I always think that downturns are great, because that's when who are the real champions and who are the fakers.
Yeah.
The pain becomes so intense. Only if you really like and want to do this, you will stick around and do it. Otherwise, you will run away, right? So I look to founders who are building in the downturn, because they are the real ones.
Yeah, that's true. I agree here with you. Thank you. My traditional last question is always about the opportunity, the possibility of building the strong partnership remotely between the Ukraine and, in this case, with Iceland. But I already heard that it's not just possible, it's very welcome to come to your country and make some competition to national guys there.
Yeah, I think everyone would take you with open arms, definitely.
I mean, I'm not even thinking about more competition. I just think we just have this demand. Like as Svavar was saying, we need about 9,000 experts. We can't find them here. We need to get them from somewhere. So might as well get them from Ukraine or wherever. It doesn't matter for us. I think we are very welcome of anybody who has talent to come and create value for the community and for themselves. That means it's good for us. It's good for everybody. So why would we not want that?
Yes, I agree. And by the way, scaling your business is always good. It's always a good opportunity to find out another nationalities, another opportunities, and another specific of country. It's interesting, first of all. My dear speakers, we've discussed everything. If you have to add something, you are welcome. But I think we had a really interesting conversation. So I'm so grateful for you to join today. Bala, Svavar, Vala, thank you very much for your time, for your experience. It's really unique, and I think that our viewers are also grateful for this. And I'd like to add from my side that European Association of Software Engineering, we are a community of IT companies from the whole Europe, and we welcome you all, welcome your venture studios, your companies, your IT academies from Iceland. If you have, please spread the word, and you can, in this way, you can you can support not only Ukraine and Ukrainian IT community, but you can also share some experience of your nationality that we really need here. So this was just my message. Thank you very much. So see you soon. And
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. We end.
Yeah, we're not on air at the moment. Dear friends, thank you very much. Really, it was very interesting, and such far